Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling, your ultimate destination for all things AEW and WWE. Whether you're a hardcore wrestling fanatic or just a casual viewer, we've got you covered with the latest news, in depth show reviews, and our unfiltered opinions on everything happening in the world of professional wrestling. Join us as we dive into the high octane action, dramatic storylines, and backstage buzz of AEW and WWE. Get ready to step into the ring with us and stay on top of the wrestling world. This is Top Tier Wrestling. Welcome, one and all, to the Top Tier Wrestling Podcast. I am your favorite podcaster's favorite podcaster, AJD. Joined as always by the best in the world, the voice of the voiceless, the straight edge superstar. Back in his indie days, he was the chick magnet. You know him, you love him. CM Josh. Tonight, we're covering
Burk.
WWE. WWE's Monday Night Raw. For November 17th. Let's get into it.
I'm CM Josh. It's like he dropped a pipe bomb on me. All right.
What do you see? All right, sorry.
But this episode is a big one coming at us from New York, in Madison Square Garden. And to start the show, we are immediately launched into John Cena. And he does exactly, you get it. He does his full entrance, makes his way to the ring, and then proceeds to start cutting another, like, oh, it's my last time on Raw and in New York City, and I'm so super grateful, and it's a bittersweet moment, and it's very important. I just want to take a second too. And that's when Dominic Mysterio's music kicks on.
Every single time I see John Cena come out now, like on his little farewell tour, I get so mad because I immediately think about how this shit began and how much time was wasted on his last run with this go nowhere
Failed heel turn.
arc. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they were doing. I don't know why they decided. You know what? I do know what they're doing. I get it. It's just, damn, I wish they wouldn't have. I wish they could just give a wrestler as great as John Cena just the dues that he deserves and leave it at that. Everything has to be a big financial uh like increasing surprise, like you know what I mean, like it has to be something that's gonna bring ratings or money or money or money. Like that's it's a and the more I see it, like the more I can't not see it, if that makes any sense. So
It does.
I just wish that they had fucking left the greed out of it and given this dude the farewell run that he deserves. Like he's given everything to this particular promotion. And I kind of feel like the least they could have done was give him a respectful exit all the way through. They wasted so much time, so many months.
They didn't, though. The way you're feeling right now, that's how they wanted you to feel, because remember, everything's a work.
Ah, come on.
No, I don't believe that bullshit either, but
these nuts are a work.
these nuts are a work.
Work
Quoted.
these nuts. Work these nuts. AJD 2025.
Yep. speaking of a working nut, Dominic Mysterio makes his way out.
He's a long nut.
He is.
The long, stretchy
Um,
nut. No, known
but
as Dominic Mysterio.
surprisingly, when he comes out this time, since we're not in Cena country, we're in New York. The crowd's actually kind of happy to see him, especially since he's like cutting John off from another long, wistful, teary-eyed, fucking. Jesus, get me a tampon.
Leave
Um,
him alone. No, no, sir.
I'm just saying,
No,
it was welcome for Dominic Mysterio to intrude here,
no.
and
How
the
dare
whole
you?
rest of the crowd agreed. Which one of us is the heel commentator, by the
They
way?
did
Uh,
not. No, listen, let me
they
tell you
did.
something. No,
They
no,
were
hold on,
not
hold
doing
on.
Dom like they did when they were in
That's true. No, that's true.
Massachusetts.
That's true. But let me tell you, my heel card is still fully intact. However, John Cena ain't no heel, man. He's not. And like all shit aside, like all shit, they've already wasted so much time with his last run. Like this is it, man. Like next month, that's it. No more John Cena. I'm so mad about it. I'm mad about it. Cause I mean, if I wasn't a heel, I'd want to be him when I grow up. It's my childhood. What it
Yep.
It's my childhood's fucking hero. Back when I didn't know that the world needed good villains, I thought John Cena's got the right of it. That's a good dude. And then my villain arc came, and I was like, fuck that. But I could still give him his props.
Yeah, you can absolutely give him his props. I was just teasing you. Um, so Dom basically says nobody wants to hear what you have to say, John, and I mean you weren't wrong here. But
Man.
he does go on to say essentially he wants a rematch for his Intercontinental
Uh,
Championship, and John's like, "Well, it's tough to hear over all the noise, but I think you asked for a rematch." And he's like, "Well, if you're feeling froggy, let's go." And Dominic Mysterio was like, "Yeah, no." And it was at that point that I was like, "What the hell are you doing out here, Dom?" And
yep.
he says, "No, the last time you had management and everything on your side. This time we're doing it my way." And
He
the
would
crowd
still have
starts
management on
chanting,
his
"Yeah, yeah, yeah." But I mean, like Triple H isn't in the ring.
Nah, he's probably at some kind of tea party or some shit. He's not
Yeah, yeah. He
he's not
was
gonna
eating a
be
Choco
there.
Fun Cup. Um,
He's not there. He's probably just sitting at a
no.
gas station or something.
Yeah, yeah.
He's at a Bucky's gas station talking to Rob. He's definitely not
Oh
at work
man.
or anything.
No, no. But the crowd starts chanting at Dom at this point because he's dicking everybody around. They're like, "Shut the fuck up." And John Cena's like, "No, wait, Netflix. They're saying Choco Fun Cup, so just keep it on the air." And and I thought that was pretty damn funny.
That was pretty
Um
funny.
and I'm trying to remember, I don't think they actually silenced the crowd either. So
No,
that
they
was
did not.
amazing. Um And John basically says, "So, do you want to fight now or not?" And he's like, "No, Survivor Series in San Diego, California, my way on my home turf." And John Cena's like, "Okay." Um, and then the Judgment Day come down to the ring, and Cena, with all of the Judgment Day in the ring, Dominic and Finn and JD McDonough, John doesn't back down. He stands up like he's ready for a fight, but then he gets 3-on-1. And that's when Sheamus and Rey Mysterio storm to the ring to make the save, and we end up in a brawl right at the beginning of the
Yeah.
show.
Not gonna lie, I was very happy that it was them and not, no disrespect, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, the regulars. I was very
The
happy that
regular
it was, yeah.
saviors,
Yeah, I was very happy that it were people, or it was wrestlers that like have a history with John Cena. I would love to see more of that. In fact, which is another. We'll get into that. We'll get into that when we talk about the last time is now tournament. Um, but yeah, it was refreshing to see uh Sheamus and Rey Mysterio I felt like it was the '90s again. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, it definitely had different era vibe, at least on that half of the ring. I mean,
Yeah,
versus the modern era's New Day. Um, but in short order, this ends up becoming the first match of the night, which is Cena, Sheamus, and Rey Mysterio versus the Judgment Day's Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio. And that said, what did you think of this opening match?
bro, match of the night.
Yeah, right
Without
out the gate.
right out the gate, they gave us the best match of the night right then and there. This is yet another match that John Cena is a part of in his retirement tour that was just phenomenal. Um, I mean, I have nothing bad to say about it. Every single thing. It was very AEW ish there towards the end. You know how AEW has a, first of all, they shine when it comes to tag team uh matches, and I'm not saying that WWE doesn't do a great job. They actually do. They do great with their tag teams as well, especially when they somewhat take the reins off and let them do their thing. And I feel like that this was one of those matches.
Yep.
They you know how AEW has a thing where they'll give every wrestler an opportunity to do one, like their move, like
Like
a move.
spot after spot after spot
Yes,
from each
yes.
wrestler. Yes.
Yes, so then, wrestler A gets knocked out by wrestler B, and then wrestler B gets knocked out by C, and so forth and so on until everybody has had their opportunity. And then WWE kind of was like, well, let's turn it up, let's crank it up. So after they did that, they went to the tag team. Each tag, like I'm not tag team, but each team got to do their finisher too. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
went
Yep.
down the line, and it was freaking awesome. The audience was losing its shit, and I don't think they were hyper. They were not as hype on any other match save that one. Like that one was. I mean, honestly, they were hype. They were screaming. They were happy. They were really into the show. Period. But this match, I think if you asked people who were there what match was the match for you, they would say that one. And not just because it was John Cena, but because it was good. That was an A plus plus match. Fantastic. That's what I thought of it.
Nice. I'm pretty much on the exact same page, and I particularly agree with that last part that it was a good match, and not just because John Cena was in it. I feel like this was a good way to give everybody kind of something that they wanted right out the gate. Like I've always said, if you're gonna run a show, start strong and finish strong. If you're gonna be hazy, be in the middle. That's why it's the mid card. Um, and this was that. I tend to agree with you. I think this was match of the night right here at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was, and for anybody who's unclear, if we ever say that a match was like an AEW match, the in-ring work in AEW is like their claim to fame. So that is a compliment to WWE. They're stepping up their in-ring game. Um, and I felt the same way. Like I
Hmm.
felt like Cena, Sheamus, and Ray all really did well, and the Judgment Day also stepped up. And the run at the end of this match, where first it looks like the Judgment Day is going to win because they basically hit all of their finishers on, I think it might have been John Cena that they gave everything to.
Oh yeah, yeah, they did. It was John Cena, and then they all pinned him. Remember, they all got on top of
Yeah,
him and
and then
pinned.
they all stacked up, and then it was, Ray and Sheamus pop in there and help make the save at the last minute, and then you get a little more chaos, and then it breaks out into like a triple five knuckle shuffle after each one of these wrestlers delivers like kind of a debilitating move. John Cena, it was like the setup to the five knuckle shuffle, the kind of backdrop slam, and Sheamus, I think, annihilated, I want to say Finn Balor or JD McDonough with a Irish Curse backbreaker, and I'm not entirely sure what it was that Ray ended up doing, but I think he did it, of course, to Dominic. Um, and so they're all lined up to do like a five knuckle shuffle, all three of them. And then they're looking at each other, and the order from left to right is John Cena, Sheamus, and then Rey Mysterio. And Sheamus trades spots in kind of an endearing move. He trades spots so that Cena's in the middle, right? And then they hit it, and the crowd just explodes. Like it's exactly what they came to see.
Yep.
And ultimately, this leads to the victory for John Cena, Sheamus, and Rey Mysterio. Because they ended up Ray got like two of them on the ropes. I think Balor and McDonough hits a 619, and then individually Sheamus delivers the brogue kick to I think Finn Balor, and Cena plants McDonough with an attitude adjustment, and then it's 1, 2, 3. And Dominic Mysterio is nowhere to be found while everybody else is getting their ass kicked, as is per the use. So it was a really solid match. So yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
you. This was match of the night, and it was a hot start to this Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, well, good show. I mean, I guess we can go ahead and
Raw
start this.
over.
Yeah, we can go ahead and start this podcast now. I got be no problem. Hell, easy night. But
Yep.
yeah, no, fantastic, fantastic match. Like I cannot sing its praises enough.
Yeah. Really fantastic. Following that great match, another good upside, right? Sheamus and Rey Mysterio both get a win, right? When was the
Yeah,
last time
yep.
we've seen that?
Boy,
Um,
Rey Mysterio looked fantastic,
he did. For a guy who just came back
bro.
from being injured, he was moving great and looked good in the ring.
I mean, he was sharp. He was crisp with it. Yeah, probably MVP of that match is probably Ray. Honestly, bro, he looked fantastic. 50 years old. Where? Like,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
way. No, I
Yep.
don't think so. I don't think so. My man has found the keys. He's out here drinking monatomic gold or some shit. Uh, yeah, no, no, no. He's a real one.
That's his new
Yeah.
finisher, the monatomic gold.
Monata-
The monomonopia gold.
yes,
Um
the onomatopoeia gold. That's
the
right.
onomatopoeia gold. He has to say BAMF every time he hits his move. But following that match, we end up going back to the back where we see Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis are having a chat, and Aldis is upset because he had suspended Drew McIntyre, but he feels like he should have seen that coming. And Pierce is like, "Yeah, I've been dealing with Paul Heyman's nonsense for years," and it's like they summoned him, because then Heyman joins the conversation and basically says, "Well, he has great respect for both of them. Um, if they think Heyman picking Drew McIntyre pissed him off, they should see what he's got in store for him next." And then he hands them a little like leather bound, document case that they then proceed to open and roll their eyes about. A collective groan and sigh as Heyman leaves. And
yes.
so we're like, oh, okay, so we're gonna find out who the final teammate is probably tonight. Um, and then after that,
After
I
after that,
believe
yeah, we
after
were
a
we
whole
were
bunch of commercials, we went to
yes.
Jackie Redmond, right?
Yep. You were about you took it right out of my mouth. I was about to say right after that we went through a whole bunch of dumb bullshit, but then also while we were watching the commercial breaks, the Judgment Day got into an altercation with Andrew Schultz, who gives a fucking shit, and the New York Giants at ringside. Um, yeah, who cares? I'm
Yeah,
not a fan of
the
Andrew Schultz, and I'm hoping that one day he swallows his tongue. The end.
Yeah, if I had one kind of an issue with Raw, and this isn't this episode's, but it's just Raw, it's the celebrity name dropping and like some of this side
Oh
crap
my
is
god.
it's just like we could have had another match in the time you took to let us know that people that I don't care about are sitting in the audience.
Yeah. Yeah, if I had a dime for every time I didn't care about who was sitting out there watching the match, I think we'd be millionaires at this
Yeah.
point because
Yep.
I just don't care. Um, but if you don't mind, I could talk about what happened after that.
I don't mind. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Jackie Redmond is in the ring, and she's telling everybody, she's telling the audience that she's going to have a interview with the women's world champion, La Primera, Stephanie Vicaire. However, before she introduces her, or before she gets her to come out, replays the video. Jackie Redmond does replays the video of the attack on Stephanie by Bella, Nikki Bella. And then she plays that, and she says, "All right, tonight we're gonna find out how our women's world champion feels about what happened last week on Raw." I'm thinking, how do you think she feels about it? Like, I mean, common sense.
It's
Everybody
a
already
mystery to
knows.
everyone.
She's gonna come out there and be like, "I'm very happy that I got jumped." Like, I don't think so. Like, she's not, you know.
Stephanie Russian back here.
Everybody's Russian now
I'm
because
very happy
I'm so happy. Was
that Miss
wondering,
Bella clobber me with belt.
was like, how come nobody jumped me before? Now I have jump and I am happy. Um, my wife. Anyway, she goes, so without further ado, and I'm like, yeah, because you've a dude for like fucking 10 minutes already.
For like
Can
10
we?
minutes.
Yeah, can we unado now? Can we stop adoing? Please give it up for your women's world champion, champion, love
Champion.
Primavera, Stephanie Vaquer. But like Vaquera's coming out there, and I already knew. First of all, I understand what they're trying to do. There's a bit of a language barrier, a very small one, because Stephanie is working very hard. She's doing a fantastic job with her English, uh, but she might not be able to convey in so many words how she felt about that attack. I know it's easy for us, like English language. You got a pretty good grasp on it. You can come out there and talk about your feelings and how you feel. But I don't know if Stephanie could have gone into a long enough, detailed uh, response in English about how she felt that wouldn't feel uh, kind of contrived or whatever or forced by Jackie. So instead, and because the attack that Nikki did the first time was kind of ass. I mean, it was kind of cheeks
It was an
because
afterthought.
yeah, yes, and I mean it's something that just kind of got blown over because the night started and ended with action, with stuff that people were going to remember and talked about the next day. Not many people were talking about the Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vicaire betrayal, or the Nikki Bella betrayal on Stephanie Vicaire. So they kind of had to, even though she showed it to, even though Jackie showed it to us, and we got refreshed. They did what I thought was pretty smart. When Stephanie was coming out, Nikki Bella comes out and attacks her again.
Do over.
Yeah, a do-over. And this time instead of Vicaire being able to respond not physically or verbally, Nikki has the mic and she says, Stephanie, I didn't come back to cheer on the sidelines, and I definitely didn't come back to be your sidekick. I came back to take back what's mine, and that's this division. So, Mamacita, thank you for reminding me who the hell I am. You'll be giving me a match for that women's world championship, and not only that, you will bow down to the woman who changed this entire industry, Nikki Bella. I'm thinking, oh, Nikki. I thought you were gonna say Rhea Ripley. That's right. Comprende, mamacita? And I'm like, could you stop being racist, bitch? Like, she.
Not just that, but the last person to regularly use Mamacita in a fantastic way was Eddie Guerrero talking to China, and it
Yeah,
just sounded annoying and wrong, and like you said, a little bit like I don't culturalist maybe.
look,
Like she's talking down to her because she can't speak English that well. So I'm like,
yeah.
oh, and I
I'm
know she's a
like,
heel, but like it was scuzzy a bit, you know.
yeah. I mean, you could be a heel, but could you not be a cunt? And you know what I mean?
Apparently
Yeah,
not.
I said it. I said it. The hard C word. I don't give a fuck. What you gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Nothing. Anyway, let me quit.
What Now listen, Netflix. What she's saying is red Solo cup. Sorry.
Yes, yes. I what I
Choco
would
Fun
say,
cup.
crunt. I was saying crunt. It's like a crusty piece of bread. It's the corner.
The crunt. Got it. The
Yeah, the
crunt of the
crunt.
bread.
Yeah, could you hand me the? Could you cut? I'd like the crunt, please. Just cut the crunt off. I'll eat that. Oh, I don't like that. I'm just gonna move away from that. Anyway.
Mm.
Anyway, she kept talking down to her with the comprende mamacita bullshit, which just really got on my. Honestly, that rubbed me the wrong way. Sure, I am usually in favor of heels, but they gotta have something other than being, cunts. So stop that, Nikki. Stop it. I
I
did
mean,
like everything else about her uh
I
promo.
did
I
too.
honestly did. I
But
just wish that she hadn't done the comprende mamacita. The
I do
mamacita
too
thing was just like, stop
because I
it.
feel it's not too far from what like oh, what was his name? Carlito. What Carlito got in trouble with, like everybody was so annoyed when he referenced Io Sky and I think Asuka as like what was that, Chinese?
Yeah.
You know, like it's in that same vein and it's just like pick a lane. Like are we going that route or is that not okay? You know, like cuz I don't care either way. Like it's television, right? And none of these
Mm.
people are really upset with one another, but like it feels inconsistent, I guess is my problem.
Yeah. You know what? I shouldn't care because I understand that it's television, but I don't know. That it really just I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I was not a fan of it. That to me reminded me of and maybe that was the point. So, maybe they really wanted people to dislike her. So, if that's the case, all right, cool. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
Um
I mean she's going heel, so that is the
yeah.
point.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So I really can't be too upsetty spaghetti about it because I feel like even though it was like, girl, stop, it still got her point across. Like we know for a fact she is a heel. She didn't come out there and go, I semi regret. No, no, no. She came right out and let everybody know how she felt and said what she said. So all joking aside, it got the job done and it got it done quick
It
because
did.
that was a paragraph. It just took a paragraph, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't like you, Nikki." So good job. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And I think it had to be much more impactful than that previous one. I really do. I
yes,
said it jokingly, but I do believe this was in fact a redo because it just didn't hit with the impact it needed to when it was on like the mid card of the
yeah.
last episode.
And for people who are like, "Why?" Well, she came out there and she answered that after she whipped that ass some more. So
Yep.
like all joking aside, and I mean I am serious when I say that I didn't really care for the Comprende Mamacita or just the Mamacita in general. Um, just because I was like, girl, you know what it did? It took me back to the days when I worked retail and I heard uh Karens in the making talking to people who they assumed didn't speak English or maybe they didn't speak English or maybe they were Hispanic and whatever the case they only spoke Spanish and listening to them talk to them and I'm like, girl, you about to make me lose my job right now if you don't quit talking to this woman
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she's a dog.
And I agree with you and I see where you're coming from because imagine if like uh insert a different ethnicity into the situation like suppose it had been Io Sky, you know, and she comes out there and she's like, do you understand what I'm saying or should I add a few more ching chong ding dongs to it,
Oh
you know, or
no.
something like
Yeah,
that,
no,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not too
Yeah.
far off, right? Like
No.
do you catch my meaning, Miss Belair, or do you need me to say it in Ebonics? It's
Yeah.
not too far from that.
Mm-mm.
And
No.
I am the last person that is trying to make a mountain out of a molehill because I'm the least woke individual on the fucking planet.
Yeah.
But I do want consistency. And if you guys were freaking out about Carlito making a harmless joke about like what was that, Chinese, then I
Yeah.
would think for consistency this would be upsetting as
And they're
well.
and they're like racist, and I'm like, "Oh, not really, but okay. I hear you. I hear you. But I, I don't. I feel like what Nikki did was a bit more, if we were gonna call him racist, a bit more quote unquote racist than what he did. He's an idiot. That was the character that he was playing.
Yeah,
Who?
instead of being read as him just being generally idiotic, it was read as malicious racism, and yet
Yeah,
here's Nikki going "comprende, mamacita," and I'm like, could like that's overt at this
yeah,
point by
yeah,
comparison. So which lane are we in?
yeah. And like that'd be like if she walked up to Jade Cargo and she was like, "Hey, I'm like take fried chicken out of your ears and I'm gonna repeat it again." Like, whoa,
Yeah,
bitch. So yeah, no, I absolutely
do you
agree.
get my point? Or next time should I serve that ass whooping with some watermelon?
Oh no.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not too far from that.
Yep. Yep. Uh. So yeah. After that, after that, we got a video recap of the Kabuki Warriors, winning the women's world tag team titles on Raw last week, which is another thing that I kind of felt got swept under the rug there at the end. But we also saw Charlotte Flair walking out on Rhea Ripley's team because of their checkered past, and we'll come back to that too because that comes up,
Later, yeah.
yeah, later in this in this episode. Um, but then after that, we were backstage still, and we got Bailey and Lyra walking, and they run into the Kabuki Warriors. And for some reason, Bailey wants to walk up to them and talk to them. I'm not really sure exactly why. But Lyra's like, don't. And Bailey's like, be cool, honey bunny, I got this. So she walks over there, and Oscar tells Bailey she's willing to put like their past to the side if she's willing to join the war game to join their war games team. And Bailey like starts laughing. She rejects the offer because of what they put her through over the last 2 years. If you guys recall, there was a bit of a history with the Kabuki Warriors. Uh, and Bailey, the what were they called? Damage Control.
Damage control, yep.
Yeah, back in the day when they were Damage Control. I don't think Kyrie was a part of that, was she?
Yes.
No, it was
Um,
Oscar, Dakota, and
it was Asuka, Io, Dakota, Bailey, and when Kyrie returned to the WWE, she immediately joined up.
yeah, like towards the end, right before they were about to turn on Bailey.
Yep.
Because I think they were blaming Kyrie. Like, ever since Kyrie joined, everything changed apparently, and then Bailey was dismissed.
Yeah,
Um,
and they sort of did a Japanese click Mean Girls thing to Bailey.
yeah. Um, so she says no. She rejects it. She rejects the offer. And Oscar's not happy about that decision. She just starts yelling. Uh, in her classic, she rolls every single R in the world. And then Kyrie, for some reason, does the "you can't see me" hand gesture to Bailey before Oscar calls her back to her side. Then she yanks the leash. Um, I'm not sure why, but after that, Bailey like walks over back to Lyra, and Lyra's like, "I'm so proud of you," because she's finally moving on, from her past, and she tries to give Bailey a high five, and then Bailey's like, like what are you, like what are we, kids or whatever? She's back to being crazy and upset, I guess. Uh, like they're not 5-year olds, and calls her an idiot, and they just walked off, and Lyra's like, what is happening?
Yep.
So she had this look on her face, like, what are we even doing? Um, you know, like I think it was kind of like she was looking as if she was thinking, I used to have a belt. Uh,
Yep.
yeah.
Bailey the bipolar. Um,
Boop.
But following that, we are led into our second match of the night, which is another of the last of. There's so many first, last in this next portion, but this is the last of the first round matches in the Last Time Is Now tournament. And this is Solo Sikoa versus his mystery opponent with Talatonga coming out to the ring in attendance. And I admit I may have put too much expectation on what they're going to do with the surprise entrances. Like entrance, not entrance, but those who have joined the tournament that are surprise guests. And I think I even said last week, watch though, it'll be somebody like lame like Dolph Ziggler or something from TNA, and we'll be like, wah, wah. Well, it just so happens to be the case that it was Dolph Ziggler, wah, wah, who was Solo's opponent. That's how I felt about it initially, because I think
Yeah.
my expectations were too high on it being potentially a bigger surprise. But where I was pleasantly surprised was how decent of a match Solo and Ziggler put on. Ziggler made a great showing here, to the surprise of no one.
Mm-hmm.
I should say, to the surprise of no one who had watched his work in the past, and he's been getting even better over in TNA.
Yeah. Listen, honestly, uh, I do not have an issue with Dolph Ziggler. I think he's a phenomenal wrestler, but I remembered immediately when I saw him come out, I remembered the feeling that I had when he was still with WWE, which was immediate defeat. Like, because no matter
Yeah.
how good he was, that they never let that dude win a fucking thing. So even though I was happy to see him, honestly, I knew he wasn't gonna win, and that's fine. That's fine at this point, because Solo Sikoa needed to win this match. This is the first time we've seen him in the ring since they've done this reestablishment, or this redo of his group, the MFTs.
The MFTs,
So
yeah.
it was imperative that he had a strong showing here, and I feel like he did. It was almost a combination of the original Solo Sikoa that they presented to us when he came to the main roster, away from NXT. It was a little bit when he was the enforcer for Roman. It was a little bit of
Yeah.
that guy, and the cheesy, campy, goof monster that they gave us once he was in control of the second bloodline, right? It was kind of a combination of both of those. They toned down the goofiness. They made him more of a shit talker, and they brought back the dominance that he has whenever he would just knock the life out of somebody in the ring.
Mhm.
And he definitely did that with Ziggler. However, Ziggler, I feel, gave as good as he got. He looked really good in this match. And instead of me feeling, I guess, downtrodden because I just knew automatically that the guy that I probably would want to win the match wasn't going to. That was the other thing. He was always in matches with people that I was like, ugh. And then he would end up losing, and I'm like, ugh. Because there's nothing wrong with Dolph Ziggler. I say again, he is a great wrestler. He was great when he was in WWE. He's great in TNA, and he was fantastic in this match with Solo Sikoa. I just wish that they'd fucking let that dude win something. Like he's what, like a
Yeah.
six-time champion, a two-time champion. Like, so sometimes he's like a prime example of some of the things that I feel a little bit disheartened about in WWE. And one of them being the case that if you once you reach a certain age, you've gotten all these accolades. That's cool. Don't expect to get any more. They do that with a lot of the wrestlers. Some of them
Yeah.
still make it, they still make it to the other side. CM Punk is one of those guys. I think he's like 47, 48 for WWE. That's damn near fucking geriatric. Like he's like he should be in a wheelchair or a walker right now as far as they're concerned. Or that's how they treat their older wrestlers. They do the same thing with oh my goodness, AJ Styles. Uh, like these are guys that could still go. Sheamus, Rey Mysterio, so it's good to see them still winning matches when they do. I hope that Dolph Ziggler is really really dominating in TNA, and they're not just doing what they did with him in WWE there. Other than
Yeah.
that, like all that aside, this was a match that was better than what I thought it was going to be. Like
Yeah,
I was, yeah,
I
I
completely
was.
agree. Sorry.
Yes,
Go ahead.
yeah, no. You're saying the like we're on the same page. Like I was just gonna say that I was fully expecting to feel like ugh, and instead I got a really really good match where both of these dudes uh really gave it their best.
Yep, I completely agree. I just wanted to highlight a couple of the shots that Ziggler took that were like woof. And it helped sell the idea of what you were mentioning earlier of Solo still being a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
It's rare that someone just getting tossed to the turnbuckles is like, damn.
Yeah,
But there
oof.
was there was a reversal into the turnbuckle that Solo did on Dolph Ziggler, where Ziggler hit the turnbuckle chest first so hard that I thought that's it. Like he's hurt himself. Like that was not intended. But no, he just hit the turnbuckle in such a way that made me think, what did the announcer say? Like the ring moved a foot. It was insane how hard he took that shot. And then
Yeah.
later Solo hits, they called it a spinning solo, but honestly, he just straight up like rock bottomed the life out of Dolph Ziggler because there wasn't so much spin on that spinning solo. It was just high and hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Solo Sikoa can still like really hammer his point home in
Yep.
the ring, and it was good to see, and I agree with you, and while, you could win a bet 99% of the time in a match where Dolph Ziggler is gonna be in it, that he's going to do the job, in this situation, I think it worked out as it should, right? Like, you can't just
Yeah.
have somebody come in from TNA and body your guy, and I agree with your assessment that we haven't seen Solo very much in the ring. And if they're trying to, repaint the MFTs as this dominant faction that needs to show that they are a threat and not some kind of joke, then all of them, including Solo, need to show that they can be a real material threat in the ring,
Yeah.
and this was accomplished here, but it wasn't just a squash match for Ziggler. He got to showcase, and it was good. It was really good.
Yeah. I agree. Impressive.
Indeed. And
Now,
then
oh,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that after that we got a Javon Evans vignette, uh, and then after that we had an Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, the Kabuki Warriors, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and a partridge in a pear tree segment. Um, and that was so Alexa came out and she gets all close to the camera, and she said that she had been trying to contact Charlotte all weekend, and Charlotte's been basically just going around New York and shopping and updating her Instagram with pictures of her doing other stuff like that. And I'm like, well, she doesn't sound too heartbroken about not talking to you. That's what I thought. But then like Alexa comes out with this like we're best friends and stuff like that, and we've gone through so much these past like weeks, I guess. I don't know, because what they've been they've been like tag team partners for what, a month, 2 months. Um, she comes out, she's saying all this while she's wearing a "We're Not Friends" T-shirt. So, what? Make it make sense. Um, but she just gave her the business, Charlotte the business, uh, to the camera. Like, she just basically gone like she was like Charlotte, I've gone through hell and back for you, and this is the thanks I get. I'm like, hell and back when? Like, yeah. Again, I'm not trying to be difficult, but I feel like I feel like I feel like WWE is having a problem trying to convey a story, like a story that they're trying to get across. Like they like we're supposed to be feeling like Alexa and Charlotte are all time besties.
And that this is
Like
a big, huge betrayal.
and I just don't understand that. And again, I do not enjoy sounding like I am comparing one wrestling promotion to another, in a negative way. But I'm trying to point out the difference in conveying a particular relationship or emotion. If you guys remember the storyline between MJF and Adam Cole, and how they gradually got those two together, they did so by showing us hilarious vignettes of them doing stuff outside of the ring, uh going to like bars or something, or going to the gym together,
Mhm.
or playing video game or something, anything. But they even had stuff where Adam was playing games, outside of what he was doing in AEW as a wrestler. He had a YouTube channel where he plays video games, and MJF called him up while he was doing that, and it was hilarious. um but stuff like that. So by the time the betrayal came, we knew it was coming, right? We By the time it came, though, we were like, "Ah, this sucks." I mean, they even had a fucking crazy badass song, and like that they put together. They put Adam Cole's song and MJF songs together, and just did a remix, and it was fucking awesome.
Yep.
Now that's so something like that. Now it fell apart towards the end. And I think it did so because nobody was expecting Adam Cole to get injured and all this and that, and so they just kind of had to come up with something and do it quickly and whatnot. Um, and when he came back, they didn't handle that well either because MJF. I'm getting on a tangent. The point is that when they were trying to show you that these two were becoming friends, that was a chef's kiss way of doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It was believable.
Like a master class on how you would do this type of a story.
Right. And
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 I
yet over
go ahead.
here in WWE, we got Alexa and Charlotte, who are supposed to be two peas in a pod, and I'm like, "Brr, I don't know." And that's kind of hard to see when every single time you guys are together, you do the "we're not friends" thing.
Yeah,
And if you don't
exactly.
say it, you're wearing a t-shirt that says it. So
Yep.
I'm not really sure what we're supposed to
Yeah,
be.
I feel like it sent a contradictory message to what they're trying to convey now. Like
Yeah.
from get go, you've been like, "Oh, we're teasing that they're friends, but not really," and then we're supposed to care when it turns out that it was the not really all along. Like you kept both of those plates spinning as an option,
Yeah.
and
They did
so
this.
it's not that shocking if that turns out to be the case because it's not like you didn't telegraph that from the beginning.
Yeah. And that's one of many uh storylines like that. Charlotte and Alexa, Stephanie and Nikki. Um
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
that one was way underbaked. Like I think Charlotte and Alexa is underbaked, even though they had like a 100-day title run to do this thing,
Yeah.
because they never really got close enough for this particular like betrayal arc to really have that
No.
much significance or impact.
Nope.
The one with Nikki and Stephanie was like over a course of like 3 weeks. You know, like suddenly we're
Yeah.
super best friends and oh look, this week, oh, we've helped each other. And then by like week 3, they do the betrayal arc is how it felt. Like
Yeah,
so it's like
because that is
that
that's
had
his.
no time to cook
No
or for us
time.
to invest. So I feel like that's why, amongst other things, like it needed a do-over because like I don't think one, the original time that she betrayed her, like it really did feel like it's like, oh right, before I leave the ring, I'm supposed to hit you with a belt. My bad. Um,
Yeah.
and now even with the do over, it's like I don't care. Like this
Yep.
could have all just been Nikki showing up from the beginning and hitting her with the belt and being like, I want that belt. That's why I came back. All the rest of it just seems like a bunch of faffing about because it never was allowed to cook and it didn't end
Mm-mm.
up going anywhere that we would be that invested. So it just seems like it's a nothing.
Yeah. And I'm like, they're best friends. How? What's the conversations they have? What does Nikki, Bella, and Stephanie Vicaire talk about? Right. Cool story. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So again, it was, so she's having a fit. And she also mentions that after Charlotte was like, I can't do this and all that, and she told Rhea how she felt, and then she walks out of the ring. That Alexa and the rest of them got jumped. Um, or she got her ass handed to her, is what she said. And Charlotte didn't come back out, didn't do none of that to defend her. uh and she wants answers. But then the Kabuki Warriors come out instead of Charlotte. And and Nikki, I'm sorry, Nia Jax and Lash Legend are right behind them. And Asuka comes out with her uh with her villain Japanese anime laugh. Uh, and then she just starts going baka 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 baka, and I'm like, I love
She
this.
she turned into Fozzie from the Muppets. She was like, well, instead of waka waka waka, she was like baka baka baka.
I loved it. I was like, this is so good. I'm eating this up. Um, and then Nia Jax gets the the mic after uh Asuka has laughed and said things in Japanese. Nia Jax goes, "Yeah, Alexa, what she said." and the and the audience they did get a crack or a kick out of that. You did hear them laugh pretty soundly at that statement. Um, but Nia just comes out there to do a little bit more berating in English. Um, to Alexa, and she says to Alexa, Nia does, as your former best friend, I completely understand why Charlotte has left you. Uh oh, and you all heard me, New York. But look, it looks like nobody is coming to save you. This is gonna be fun. Now she said that to New York because they kept doing the what? What they're even doing that to Alexa as well. And I think because they don't give a fuck about the storyline. They're not invested in this. They just want to see a fight. And I mean, I'm not. I don't blame them. I wasn't invested. I'm not invested in this storyline. Um, so but then they all get up there
What?
in the ring. What? To beat on Alexa some more. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky get into the ring before the attack can really take off. And then all of them the fight gets live and in charge. Like they just start whipping each other's ass. Um and Jax and no, who was it? Jackson Legend that were really beating up on Alexa in the corner.
Yeah.
And then finally Charlotte comes out and she she's running out and she has a kendo stick. And honestly, her music is loud, but it's so loud because the audience really gives us no response. Um, but she comes out there with her kendo stick and she beats the stuffing out of Naya and and Lash. And
Yeah,
I
especially Lash. Like Lash needed
especially
to be beaten almost half to death with the kendo stick to get knocked out of the ring.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, because like that chick was just not going down. She was just like, well, this does sting, but I'm about to whip your ass. So so Charlotte just had to keep willing on her, like, if you don't get your mountain lion ass out of this ring. Um, but yeah, so I mean that's pretty much what happened. Oh, and then Charlotte goes to help Alexa up, all all lovingly and whatnot, and then they're like somewhat hugging, and Charlotte looks over at Io and Rhea, and then Io while looking at Charlotte, just grabs Rhea and starts hugging her, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
and
it felt very weird because it was almost like Io was like, "Oh yeah, well we can hug too. Look, see, we hug. Here's our
yeah.
hug."
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. So that's happening, and then Charlotte starts laughing at that, and she's pointing. I'm not sure what she's pointing at, but that's how that segment ends. Now, listen. What? So does that mean that she's in War Games now?
N-
And if
It's
so,
never
does that
answered.
mean that she's cool with Rhea now? Huh? What? ¿Por qué? I don't I don't understand what's
Yeah,
happening.
that's left an entirely open question. Like, did Charlotte just come out to keep Alexa from getting her ass beat, but she's still not in War Games? None of that's answered, and it was just left with sort of an awkward, like, "Oh yeah, you can hug, we can hug too. Look."
Yeah.
It's
And now,
weird.
if we had all the answers that we wanted, if we knew what was going on, that hug that Io gave Rhea in the way that she did so would have just been left as comical, and we would have all been like, "Oh my god, she's so cute and it was so funny." Oh, good time. But we can't do that because I can't do that. I'm too focused on what the fuck's happening. Is Charlotte in War Games now? Is she now suddenly cool with Rhea? Was she pointing at Rhea, or was she just pointing at Io? What were we doing? And I guess we gotta wait till next Monday for
Yep.
all that. Um, so yeah. After that, we got some breaking news that we already knew. Basically, that Stephanie Vaquero is gonna put her WWE Women's World Championship on the line against Nikki Bella at Survivor Series War Games. And I'm cool. I'm down with that. I don't think that Nikki's gonna win, but I was kind of hoping that if they were going to go this route, they'd give us a longer rivalry between the two. And maybe they
Yeah.
will. Maybe this is just going to continue. But a lot of the stuff, like a lot of the rivalries that they built in the late 80s and early 90s, actually to the mid 90s in WWE, were so much more well-rounded. I feel like they spent more time developing the rivalries between the two wrestlers to make it
Yeah.
really impactful when it was time for a match. And I
Yep.
just kind of feel like they don't do that anymore. They just kind of rush through it, and by this time next year, they'll probably be best friends again, or married or some shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, some of these are very thin and short-lived. This one
yeah,
with Nikki and Vaquer is not well built. I'm hoping that they can salvage it by having a decent match and that we can put this behind us because this was like across 3 weeks to try and do this arc was just silly.
yeah,
Um, and then another shining example has been this Alexa Bliss Charlotte thing, and it's just like, what? Like you were, but you weren't, but you were, but you weren't friends. And then
yeah.
Charlotte's like, "Hey, I like you, I respect you, and you're my friend. If you want to do war games, cool. I don't because I don't like Rhea." And it's like, okay. And it had no impact whatsoever. I'm like, did you I think the shiningest thing that came from that, because it wasn't that shocking because it's like, "Oh, that's such a Charlotte thing to kinda do." um, was that she took the time to come all the way out to the ring with full entrance just to say, "Nah, I'm out." Like you could have handled that in a
Yeah.
phone call, a text, any number of ways. It just felt like a really pointless thing.
Yeah, like with your
Um,
best friend. That's your best friend, right? You wouldn't you're gonna wait until everybody's out there to embarrass her like that, your best friend, and then you're not gonna speak to her afterwards?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Okay.
that's the part that was a little weird too, is that Alexa was like, "Yeah, she hasn't been calling or returning my calls or texts," and it's like, well, now that seems like it's more than like, "I don't wanna do war games because of Rhea, I'm blowing you off as well."
Right,
So I don't know,
absolutely.
it's all very confusing, and, all news is not good news, like, I'm sure, like, this is from the, like, philosophy of CM Punk is, like, even if they're saying bad shit about you, they're at least talking about you.
Yeah,
This is not a good thing. Like, I'm pointing to this and saying, "This is not well done. This is not what you want us talking about. It's not all news is good news, even if it's bad news. It's not. This is bad. This is bad story arc and character development is what I'm addressing here, and
yeah,
that's not good."
yeah, absolutely agree. Well,
But moving on from there, we are brought to the third match of the night, which is the like we've been building up to it, but it's now the much anticipated and built up Maxine Dupree challenging Becky Lynch for the third time for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. And I gotta say, I mean, heading into this match, we've made many, many predictions. So I kind of felt like I have a bit of mixed feelings regarding this match. Um, I'm a little bit sad that Dupree, who has clearly elevated her in ring ability, still ends up having a bit of an asterisk. Um, do you mind if I like spoil the whole thing?
no, go
Or
for it. Go for it.
okay. Still has a bit of an asterisk with this win. Maxine Dupree does end up catching the win and becoming the new WWE Intercontinental Champion, but there's some mildly dubious circumstances. It's not as big of an asterisk as the referee fast counting the um, ring out, but, in this situation, there was a point where Becky Lynch is getting in the face of referee Jessica Carr, and Jessica Carr kind of, isn't putting up with her crap anymore because, like, Becky's like poking her in the chest with her finger and she swats her hand away and she says, "Look, I'm not what you're here for. Focus on your match." And so there's not really referee interference, even though there's referee tension. And then later on in the match, as we lead to the ending, all that happened was that AJ Lee starts playing her entrance music and makes her way down to the ring, which distracts Becky Lynch from her task at hand because there's no other interaction. It's just Becky feels the need to mouth off to AJ, who's just standing there, and so she turns around and gets flying crossbodied by Maxine Dupree, and I guess was caught so off guard that she ends up losing the title. And then Maxine and AJ lock, you know, not arm in arm, but like with their arms kind of like one around the other, walk out, and Maxine is the new champion. And I guess I understand why they did it this way because it might be a little incredulous for her to just straight up beat Becky Lynch, who is one of the original like four horsewomen of the WWE.
Mhm.
So I guess it had to be this kind of a thing. But Maxine Dupree has actually improved her in ring work enough that it feels like maybe you didn't need to do her like this. But I guess that puts us in a position now that Maxine has the belt that she's going to solidify her legitimacy as a competitor in her need to successfully defend it going forward. So I guess how she's booked going forward will solidify her further. Um, I do feel like I'm very glad that the mid card title is now in the back in the hands of mid card performers. I felt that way. Like I felt it was very smart that Sami Zayn dropped the belt to Ilya Dragunov when he did because it's a mid
Mhm.
card title and
Yeah.
Sami Zayn's a main eventer. Same here. Becky Lynch is a main eventer and it's a mid card title. It needs to be being handled by someone in the mid card. Um, And I also tend to think that that's why the story arc between Bailey and Lyra has moved kind of away from Becky Lynch and the Intercontinental Belt because if I'm being honest, and I'm speculating here, but I think Lyra Valkyria has probably shown that she's main event level talent. So the mid card belt is actually a little bit below where I think she needs to be setting her sights. And
Mm-hmm.
Bailey sure doesn't need it for the same reasons Becky didn't. So this is good. This is a good way to get the belt back into the hands of a mid card performer. Um, and I'm not entirely sure that this signals a continuation of the feud between Becky and AJ Lee because of something that happens later with AJ Lee. But I do still think that we're going to find that there's some tension between Becky and referee Jessica Carr still on the horizon.
Yeah.
And that's my thoughts on this particular match. What were yours?
I thought the match itself was pretty good. The only issues that I have is that they put a belt on somebody that they've had to consistently help win the match, like win their matches, and it's not that I don't like Maxine Dupree. I like her just fine. I suppose that she would be the embodiment of mid card if we were going to go that route, but just because you are a mid card does not mean that I expect you to be um so inadequate at your victories that even the referee has to cheat for you. Um so I'm hoping that they give her a little bit more um power in her performances because uh I don't think she needed AJ Lee to show up for that. I don't. Um And I also don't like the trope. I think it's played too much, especially in WWE. The trope of somebody comes out and one of the wrestlers is so distracted by this that they just go over to the edge of the ring. They stand on the ropes and they yell and they scream, and just because somebody walked out,
Yeah, they suddenly forget that they're in a world title or in a title match.
yeah, and a match in general, that's fucking crazy, but a title match, that's even crazier. Could you imagine uh an MMA match ending because another person that one of the fighters has fought before came out, and the fighter got distracted and he's all at the edge of the cage screaming and whatnot, and then he turns around and he gets fucking kneed in the jaw, and that's it. Could you imagine?
Yeah, that
Like
that
like
would be a bit much.
you're trying to mimic actual combat sports, and yet you take the brain out of the match. That's the silliest thing I have seen, and I wish we would stop. I wish that we could stop doing that. Give us something
Yeah.
else. Wrestling's been around
And
for a very long time now, especially this type of wrestling. 40 plus
when
years for WWE alone. Uh you for real can't come up with something else?
yeah, and we saw that just recently. Like I think Aleister Black was in a
Yes.
also for the mid card belt, but it was when Sami Zayn I think had it, or no, it was Ilya Dragunov. But
Yep.
right around that time, like in a major match, actually, it might have even been a match with Cody Rhodes. Now that I think about it, but in like a huge match, all Damian Priest had to do was exist. Like he
Yeah.
didn't interfere directly at all. It's just that because he was there, it's like suddenly, oh, I forget that I'm in this huge match to look at this dude. And yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Like you couldn't make note that you see this fool over here and then continue with your match and just make sure that you are aware of where that person is. N- no. Like if they don't intervene in the match at all, then what's the problem? Get back to your match, do your thing. If you've pinned someone and they jump up on the apron and they're trying to get the referees, or they jump up on the side of the mat and they're trying to get the ref's attention, and your count is fucked because the ref is yelling at them. I understand that. Cool. But just to come out, that's all it takes is somebody to walk out? Really?
Yeah.
And that is how the best female wrestler of all time gets defeated. That is how the new mid-card champion for the women's division in Raw, Monday Night Raw, that's how she wins the belt. I don't know. I don't know. I just kind of feel like they could have done something else. I would have preferred, in all honesty, for Maxine to win just clean, just clean. And if this were any other type of contact, physical contact sport, if the ref was counting someone out because they were outside of the ring and they were counting to 10, when they got to 8 and they went 9-10, that ref would be in trouble. That wouldn't be something that would stand. I know this is all kayfabe. I get it. Fuck off. But I'm saying they try to give us a bit of realism. We're supposed to believe that the moves that they're doing is really fucking up their opponents. And yet, we're
And that
also
the
supposed
rules
to
of
believe,
engagement are
yeah,
like a sport,
and there are rules. If somebody's got their opponent in the corner and that they're just like punching them and they're not letting up, and then they start sliding down and they're sitting in the corner and this person's kicking them in the chest, the ref is there. He's 1, 2, like he's counting. You get to 4, and then they just like, they'll keep counting. I mean, I've seen some of them get up to 6, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?
yeah.
Like
Or
either
they
either the
physically
rules
just
mean
body
something
them.
or they don't. You
Yeah.
can't just, So I don't know. That was one of the things that I was a tad bit annoyed with. I'm sorry I talked over you there, but that was just one of the things that annoyed me about this match, because I don't think that someone that you have to help win the belt is gonna keep the belt for long. And maybe that's the plan. I don't know, but
Yeah. And
I
and I
kind of
don't
feel sorry.
no, go ahead. Finish your
I
thought.
I just last thing. I just kind of feel like Maxine Dupree has made great strides to become a very good wrestler, and what I've seen so far is pretty damn impressive. She has done some moves. I think she's utilizing her flexibility, and the fact that she's tall and lanky to her advantage. She was trying to get a kickoff on Becky that entire match. That had she done so, she would have removed Becky's soul from her body. Um, so I don't think that she needed that help. Um, that there is just my opinion. So
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'm hoping, I mean, cuz the reason I think it looks that way is because it does look that way. Like it looks like this was like after 3 back-to-back encounters, theoretically she's gotten better and better, but instead of playing it out like, "Hey, I finally by the 3rd encounter solved this Lynch problem," and maybe Lynch lost because she was overconfident because nobody takes Maxine as a wrestler seriously.
yeah,
They ended up making it much more interventional than that, and so this does look like one more in a series of like, it's a fluke. There's an asterisk still next to it, and I can only hope that the place they wanna go with that is like, sure, you can make that case, but now watch her defend it, and then she's legitimized after the fact by good title defenses where it's like, "Oh, okay, this chick can wrestle." But I do feel like it was a bit of a mistake to continue to leave it as a total fluke because it was setting kind of this stage with each match there being an escalation where she's getting closer and closer to being able to get Becky pinned, that I thought that's where we're going with it, and that's not how they ended up doing it. And that's why I said at the beginning, I have very mixed feelings about this because I feel like it should have ended a different way. Like I know
yeah,
that people might be able to argue, well, it's incredulous that she would ever beat Becky Lynch, but like if you wrestle somebody, especially in short amounts of time, over and over, each one of those exposures, especially if you're getting close in any of them, gives you the opportunity to finally get there. And I thought that's where we were heading, but instead they were like, but Deus ex AJ, and so they didn't let Maxine fulfill that she finally got good enough or finally wrestled her often enough, I should say, that she figured out a path to victory. That path to victory still relied on, not in this case the ref, but now an intervening AJ Lee. So I'm a little sad that that's the route they went.
Yeah. But, other than that, honestly, it really was a good match. It was I mean, they've every match that Maxine and Becky have had so far has been good. So this was no exception.
Yeah, and
Uh,
Maxine continues to get better in ring.
yeah, and all I can say is I'm excited to see where she ends up, because I think she could be a little badass. So
I think
yeah,
so. If that's the direction they decide to go with her, like I think we're well past the point of doe-eyed rookie at this juncture. Like you can't
yeah,
be a doe-eyed rookie for like 3.5 years straight. Like you can't.
yeah, no,
That's how you get fired from NXT if that is in fact what is going on.
yeah.
So I think we need to move past the doe-eyed rookie stage with her at this point and let her
Please and
settle
thank you.
into, I'm here, I know what I'm doing, and I am an actual competitor of threat.
Yeah, yeah,
But
absolutely agree.
speaking of competitor of threat, our fourth match of the night,
Ooh, our main event, actually.
yep, our main event match of the night, although there is more that happens after this,
Yeah.
is a returning ring general Gunter went now with new music versus Javon Evans from NXT in the I think this is the absolute final first round match of the last time is now tournament. Like this is it. Um and going into this, I'm pretty sure like everybody looked at it like, well, Javon is dead. He had a promising young career, but then he ran into Gunter. That said, what were your thoughts on this match?
I thought it was a fantastic match. Uh, I this was one of those matches where I actually didn't know who was gonna win, and at first I was like, "Oh, Gunther all the way, like all the way, without question, it's gonna be Gunther. He's gonna decimate this dude." But no, no, no. Javon gave as good as he got, sometimes better. Uh, yeah, he's definitely a high flyer, but there is a lot of, like, he doesn't pull his punches. Like, his swings look good, his strikes look good. Um, he looks like he could be just an overall all-star here. So I'm excited to see where his career goes. He is super bouncy, that is true. There were several times where Gunther knocked him out of the sky, and he did indeed bounce. Um, indeed, he did bounce. But
You're not
seriously,
wrong.
yeah, yeah. But all jokes aside, he's fantastic, and I am excited to see where his career goes. I hope that if he does get called up to the main roster, they don't forget that he has talent, and don't forget why they brought him to the main roster. Uh, Keep that same energy. Like he was fantastic. Gunther looked great on his return match. Um, this was definitely, I would say, probably the second match of the night, because I think they opened and closed with really, really strong matches. Um, yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say. Was I thought they both looked good, and Gunther finally made sure that that match was over. He got tired of that,
He did. He did.
and finally
Another
slammed his point across.
and then put Javon to sleep.
Yeah.
Um, I think that this match's outcome was as it needed to be.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I feel like they really put on a banger. And Javon Evans, I think this was probably his best showing to date. especially against someone like Gunter. Um, really solid main event. Now, I do
Yeah.
have, if I'm going to be a hot take having kind of guy, I'm sure WWE feels like some of the people that comment online make them feel like they're in a damned if we do, damned if we don't kind of position. And unfortunately, this take is probably going to do that too. Because while I agree that you needed Javon Evans to have a strong showing because he is a guy that you guys are seeing as future. And he's good. He's very talented. I'm not taking anything away from Javon Evans here. But you had a returning Gunter dealing with a guy who looks like he's 95 pounds soaking wet. And Gunter, I almost feel like Gunter had to put up, like Javon put up almost too much of a good fight for Gunter. Like I feel like Gunter is feeling less and less dominant. Um and I'm not sure that there was a good out here in those situations because, like, you're either going to make Gunter look like he struggled with this guy who looks like he weighs as much as his leg, or you were going to bury Javon Evans. And they put on a great match. I'm not saying anything else about that, but there is a slight part of me that feels like Gunter should have been able to dominate that better than he did. Um, And that definitely puts WWE in a weird, like, damned if we do, damned if we don't. Because if you'd have buried Javon Evans, I'd probably be criticizing that. So I'm not sure what the good answer is on that one. But I am expressing how I felt when I saw it. Like, Javon put on a great show, but I feel like Gunter is looking far less dominant than he did, like, in his earlier days on the main roster. And your thoughts on that? Oh, I don't know if we lost your audio.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Ah, good, good.
Sorry. But I don't think that I don't honestly believe that I saw that big of a difference. I'm pretty sure there's probably a 50 to 70 pound weight difference between the two because I think they bill Gunther as 250, although I don't think he's been 250 for quite some time. He lost a considerable amount of weight, so I'd put him probably more close to 200. And I would put Javon Evans at maybe 180, 190. So I didn't see that big of a difference when they were side by side in their size. One of them was way more bouncy than the other. Was a high flyer. I think Javon is maybe 6 feet and Gunther's maybe 6'4". So I don't think I saw that much of a difference in their size. But I do agree that Gunther it did not look as dominant as he has in the past, and I kind of feel like he shouldn't have. I kind of feel like Javon should have given him a run for his money because to me they looked a bit more uh equal in size. Maybe because I was looking at the height, but
Yeah, height wise, Javon I think is 6'1" and Gunter's 6'4", and I believe the weight that Gunter's listed is something like 243 now, and Javon is 180 on the nose.
okay.
And I mean that's a near 60-pound weight difference, which on guys like this that are all mostly muscle at this point, that's a lot. Um,
Yeah,
and
but I
looking at the two
mean,
of them, like Javon Evans looks, I mean, his look is that he looks like lankier than Kofi Kingston. Um, so I don't know. In looking at it, I felt like Gunter should have like just been bodying him a bit more. But
well,
I don't know if it's even in this match with Javon that I feel that way. Like I feel like Gunter has lost his veneer of like super dominance for a while now. And I don't think this did anything to curtail that, might be the point that I'm trying to say. Like, he won the match, but it was a struggle, and every of the last few matches that he's been in it has been the same, whereas for a while, he was absolutely bodying folks, And so I guess this might just be the new Gunter, is that he squeaks by on a win that's very much more close than, being very, very super dominant like he was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, your heights and your weights are damn near identical to what I was guesstimating. Uh so if it's 243, I said 250, but I don't think he's 243. I don't. I think that's the number that they've billed him at because they're trying to keep him as a strong, dominant looking dude. But that match that we saw him in last night, he did not look 240, he didn't look 250, he looked like he was about 220 at most. At 6'4", 220 at most.
Hmm. I think I'm gonna have to just disagree here because like
Mhm.
somebody that's 6'4" at 240, especially on a man, is not too hard to achieve at that height.
No, not at
Um,
all. But he doesn't he we've seen him at 250. That's the point I'm trying to get across. He's lost even more weight going since going away after SummerSlam. Like if you look at the dude that came out there last night, he was at least 20 pounds lighter than the guy that left. So, and that was 250 then. So he can't be still 250. Like there has to be some sort of change. When he started with WWE and they were talking about his weight, it was 250. We saw what he looked like. That was not 250. So it's got to be something. Like where is the extra 30 pounds at this point? Like that's always been his weight bill, but I don't know. I don't know. He just does not look like that 250 anymore. Not even in his face. His cheeks were all sunken in. Like I don't know.
yeah. And I know when he was standing there next to Javon, Javon looks like near emaciated to me. And Gunter, while much, much thinner, still looked like he cut a much bigger profile.
Mm,
But I don't know. Like I said, it's my hot take that I feel like Gunter has lost a lot of his dominance, and some of that
yeah.
went with. You might could make the case that a lot of that went with his size. I feel like when he drops that power bomb on people now, it's guaranteed that they're going to kick out. Like his power bomb for a long time was like, "This is it. The match is done," and now it's like, "Oh, we know that they're going to kick out of that." Um, so I don't know. Maybe that's the real nature of my complaint is that Gunter has been losing his dominant. Like he's certainly not the Gunter that had that match at Clash in the Castle with Sheamus anymore. Like it's just not.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, no, he's Gunther is a still a big dude. So yeah, I kind of feel like I kind of feel like I agree. He should have been a bit more dominant, but I also didn't see a super huge weight difference between them. You know what? 50 pounds. I'd say maybe a 50-pound weight difference. But maybe that goes a long way. If it's like 50 pounds of muscle versus, you know what I mean? So
If it's 50 pounds of athlete that's made mostly of muscle, that is a lot.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there's not
Um,
there's less fat on Javon Evans than there is on Finn Balor. Like so he's all muscle and sinew, and we've seen the weight transformation on Gunter. I mean, I think at this point he's not carrying so much fat as he is a little loose skin.
Now the comment that you just made with Javon Evans having less fat on his body than Finn, I don't know about that. Um, yeah, I don't know about that, but he is pretty slender. I mean that is true. He has a very slender athletic body. Um, yeah, I could see that. Well, after that. uh, Jackie Redmond has a backstage interview with AJ Lee and Maxine Dupree, uh, where Maxine is very excited for her victory, but I think the main point of all of this, while they were celebrating, comes out. So the Alpha Academy comes out to celebrate with Maxine, and then she basically walks off with them to celebrate. Um, and then AJ Lee gives us weird, somewhat of a weird thirst trap kind of interview with Jackie, where he's talking about Becky. She said Becky Lynch lights a fire inside of her that she forgot she had, and she makes her feel things. And then she just kind of trails off and just like stares. Uh, like Becky is mentally in AJ's head. Becky is a roast beef sandwich or something. I don't know. Um, Seriously, but while she's gone off in her meat fantasies, Rhea Ripley shows up, and at first, like I don't know why, but the audience was like, "Wow!" Like I guess they thought that Rhea was just come out there and wanted to fight AJ or some shit. I'm not sure, but Rhea Ripley asks AJ if she has a second to chat, and AJ says yes. So I guess Jack ain't getting no kind of interview today. Like she just stand there with a microphone, like, okay, well, I guess I'll go fuck off forever. You guys go have your chat. Um, and they walk off to go have their assuming chat. Um, After that, and I'm assuming that they went off to talk about war games because they still need another person, possibly two, because like I said, I don't fuck if I know if Charlotte's in it or not. No clue. No clue
Yeah. Yep.
whatsoever. But I do know that the Geek Goddess is. Um, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be a part of it. War games, and I said geek, not Greek, guys. Okay. Um, I think after that we ended up seeing another WrestleMania 42 promo, and I think it was CM Punk's one, which makes
Yep.
sense because it was kind of like a CM Punk AJ Lee type of night. Um, And then we find out that the last time is now tournament quarterfinals begin next week on Raw. And Gunther is going to kill Carmelo Hayes. I'm sorry. He's going to uh, battle either Carmelo Hayes or Bronson Reed. So he's going to battle Bronson Reed. Oh, I wonder who's going to win there.
The way they've been dealing with Gunter and the way they've been pushing Bronson Reed, I wouldn't be real surprised if this one goes to Bronson.
I mean, he beat Roman Reigns. So, I mean, you better whoop Gunther's ass. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I would predict at this juncture with Bronson Reed, especially with the vision, right? And unlike other tournaments we've seen in other promotions, this particular tournament doesn't seem to have like no one else at ringside and anything like that, kind of going on.
Yeah.
I mean, Bronson Reed still has the vision behind him as well. Um so I would suggest, given the push they've given to Bronson Reed, barring some kind of interference, like I don't know, maybe Sammy or Jay decides to get involved or something, I'd be real surprised if Bronson doesn't blow past Carmelo and Gunter.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, exciting, but I'd be really interested. See, that's what's making me think that maybe Carmelo Hayes somehow magically ekes out a win against Bronson Reed, and then Gunther has a match with him, which means that Carmelo Hayes is about to die. Um, but I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be Gunther versus Bronson Reed, and then after that, Solo Sikoa is either gonna have a match with Finn Balor or Penta. Who do you think is gonna win between Finn and Penta?
Ooh, Now that one's tougher.
Yeah,
Real quick, I will answer that question. But looking back on Gunter versus Carmelo Hayes or Bronson Reed, there is a possibility that somehow, some way, I don't know, maybe Bronson like gets fed up and like cheats, and Carmelo wins by disqualification or something.
yeah,
Because there is a case to be made that Bronson Reed has like a whole Vision storyline to fall back on and doesn't need to be part of this tournament. He also doesn't have any real history with John Cena.
yeah,
So it might be more productive to have Carmelo and Gunter continue on. Um, that said, with regards to Finn or Penta, that is a really tough one. I know that in an interview, Penta said that one of the people he was looking forward to most wrestling was Finn Balor. They both are fans of the Sling Blade, and they're both like they're a good match. I kind of think that if we're looking at anyone that might have a history at John Cena to continue, it might be Finn Balor, but it could be Penta. And that one I
yeah.
think is still up for grabs.
Well, so far I haven't seen them really get anybody or move anybody to the quarterfinals that has a history with John Cena. They just seem to, like, you know what I mean? Like I
Sheamus.
did Sheamus won his?
Yeah. And he's got
Okay.
a I mean, we
And
we
and
spoke
other
about
than
the possibility that Sheamus, it would be neat if not only did he go on to have the final match with Cena, because they have a storied past where they were like going at each other over the world
right.
title like earlier in Sheamus's career. But there's also that story arc about how Sheamus has never won, the Intercontinental belt either. And so it
Yeah.
would be neat if he ends up having a final match with Cena and should manage to pull the belt off him. So like that's one.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, or what I was trying to say is, I don't know if it's gonna be anyone other than Sheamus, because like there's been no one else that they've moved through that has a history with John Cena. So like if they were gonna do that, then the Miz should have won his match. I don't know why Jey Uso even won this. Uh no offense, Jay. Like again, I do love me some Jay, but I kind of feel like that was a missed opportunity for the people that actually do have a history with John Cena to compete for the ability to have another match with him, or one last match with him. But I don't know. But then they also threw in there that it was for newcomers. So they kind of want that whole story of like when John Cena first came out with his ruthless aggression. They kind of want that same type of vibe too. So I don't think they know really. I mean, you know what? I'm sure they know what they're going for. It's been long enough. Hopefully, they have all this planned. It just feels like I don't think they know what side they want to land on yet. But
Yeah, and I think they're trying very hard to obfuscate like an obvious winner, like somebody
yeah,
that you could just go, that guy's clearly going to be the final opponent. Like they want that to stay at least a little mysterious.
yeah,
Um, and I mean, I think for the young talent kind of a thing, I'd be real impressed, I guess, or surprised if that ends up not just being that they get to showcase in the tournament. Like if John actually has his final match with like somebody from NXT, that would be surprising to me. Um, I do think that when he does have that Saturday night main event, though, there'll be a lot of NXT talent facing main roster talent on the card.
yeah,
But we shall see. But right now, I think the one that has the most history with John Cena that's in the tournament at this juncture is Sheamus.
yeah. Now, after all this, we ended up getting our uh men's war game face off. Now, I think they did this just so they could introduce uh the last addition to both sides or both teams. Um, because if you guys remember, Paul Heyman had another little contract, another little paper folder that he wanted to give to Nick and oh my God, Pierce, Adam Pierce. Um, earlier that upset them, that gave them the upsetty spaghetti faces. Well, that comes into play now. That moment is now. Uh, the first team comes out. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, uh, Logan Paul, Paul Heyman, uh, Drew McIntyre. They'll come out.
The
First of all, Drew McIntyre came out after the other guys, like so Bronson and Brock. I'm sorry, Bronson and Braun.
Bronze and the Paul Pauls.
Yeah, yeah, Bronze and the Paul Pauls came out first, and then Drew came out to his own music, cause bitch,
Biggity
he's
bacon.
yeah, he's all kinds of salty because he's biggity bacon, biggity bacon. Um, anyway, they come out, and then and then after that, CM Punk comes out, uh, and he came up by himself, I think, first, right?
He did. He made it all the way to ringside,
Yeah, and
pretty much on his own with his intro playing.
yeah, and I think like he wanted to fight, but I was like, why are you in the okay, if you don't get out, why are you in there by yourself? Um, it made me very, very nervous for his delicate, fragile body. Oh, but then he did come out, but I just want to point out that Paul Heyman did his introduction for his guys before he did, he talked about the tribal thief. Um, excuse me. Uh, he talked about his team being the dangerous uh alliance to the ring for the war games and whatnot. Uh, or he said this was the greatest assembly of talent put together for the war games for him. So he's done it all. These were his guys. Like this is the best. Uh, the best. Okay, hands down. I don't know if I disagree. He's got some pretty solid talent up there.
Yeah, these are
Uh,
all heavy hitters right here. I mean, even
like
people, if you don't like Logan Paul, you can't argue that that dude gets it done in ring.
yeah, that's fine. You don't have to like Logan Paul. I don't like CM Punk, but I have nothing bad or negative to say about his in-ring work since he's come back to WWE. Um, or his general behavior, backstage and on the mic. I don't really have anything bad to say. Um, so it is what it is. He's got himself a really tight team this year. I can't disagree with him. Then CM Punk comes out because he's salty. He's like, I don't think so, bitch. So he comes out and he's about to get jumped because he came out by himself. Thankfully, Jey Uso comes out after that, and shortly after that, we get Rhodes coming out, and fight ensues. Uh, and I mean the Usos. Forgive me. It wasn't just Jay, right? Jimmy did come out, didn't he?
Jimmy and Jay, yep.
Yeah. So they both came out, but it was to Jay's song. Which
Yeah.
makes sense, right? That's the most popular one. So they come out, and then Cody comes out, and then it's fight time, and everybody's just swinging on everybody. And then I hear the music that haunts my dreams.
Yep.
Nightmares, actually. It haunts my nightmares. Brock Lesnar. His music cuts on, And here he comes, and CM Punk is the only one in the ring, and I'm like, no, run, fragile man, run! Don't look back. Get out of the ring. Throw Jimmy in there. Jimmy can take it. Um, but no, CM Punk just stands there like a cow looking at a new gate. Uh, until Lesnar kills him. So we're down one now because he's already killed CM Punk.
He is already dead.
Yeah. Uh, and I mean, like yeah, like he's wailing on him. He's picking him up and just throwing him like a little piece of paper. Like you know how he threw CM Punk? He threw CM Punk over his head the way somebody throws a pamphlet or a flyer that somebody on the street gives them. That's what he did. You know, somebody's like, "Here, you
Yep.
throw this away for me," and that person's like, "Cool," and they just ball that shit up, just yeet. That's how he threw CM Punk. But then Cody Rhodes is like, "Hey, you leave our fragile friend alone," and he gets into the ring, and he wants to fucking say something, and then he just gets yeeted twice. Just
Yeah. Some
fuck
very
you.
brutal German suplexes.
Yeah, and fuck you again, like just like flying. I believe I can flip. That was
That was
Cody.
Cody.
That was Cody right there. I believe I can touch the dead. That was him. Um, but then the other music pops on that puts me to sleep. So just in case you guys are keeping tabs, one of these songs haunts my nightmares, and the other one puts me to sleep, so that I am able to be haunted in my nightmares by the other song. This one is Roman Reigns' song.
Synergy.
Yeah, Synergy, Sleepy G. Um, So then Roman Reigns comes out. So now here's your answer to the last men on each War Games team. Literally, the dudes that both me and Josh said would be on these teams.
Yep.
Brock Lesnar. So now we got Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Brock Lesnar. Say that shit 3 times fast.
Braun, Brock, and Bronson. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it sounds like a law firm.
Oh, it does.
If you or someone you love has been hurt in an automobile accident, then please contact Braun, Bronson, and Breaker, attorneys at
Yeah.
law.
Yep.
Uh, that's what it sounds like. But so now we got them. We got Logan Paul. We got Drew McIntyre. Nightmare Fuel, guys. So even with Roman Reigns, which I knew once Brock comes out there, you got no choice. It's got to be Roman. Like who else? Who else is it gonna be? And even with that, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, Jimmy and Jay, they're gonna have. I don't know, guys. I don't think that the good guys are winning this year. That's my
Yeah, it
opinion.
it
I think,
certainly doesn't look it like that. It
yeah,
looks like one side, the side with Brock Lesnar, has like a group of titans physically and where they stand on the card.
yeah, and they have like at least two dudes that have in the past at some point beaten Roman Reigns. So,
Yep.
man, I like it's gonna suck. You wanna talk about Gunther not as dominant as he was. Roman Reigns is about to get his ass handed to him in a fucking another match for War Games. So, because I honestly don't think that this team is gonna win. So, I'm not. And I mean, I guess Roman don't give a shit. He's done it all. He's still the OTC. People are still gonna chant OTC. They're still gonna throw their ones up whenever he comes out. So I'm pretty sure he's like, it is what it is. I'm still making my millions. But I kind of feel
Yeah.
like they've downplayed his skill, who he is, since he's lost the belts, and the bloodline is kind of like no more right now at least. So We'll see where this goes, but my prediction is for the Vision to win War Games this year.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's not a ding on anybody that's in War
No.
Games, but I mean, the team is just so stacked on one side. I mean, I know you've got Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, and with as up as WWE is on the guy CM Punk on one side with main event Jey Uso and Jimmy. And I'm sure poor Jimmy is like, which of these is not like the others?
Eh,
Um,
yeah.
but on the
That
other
sucks
side,
because he's so much better as a wrestler than Jay. So sorry, Jay. You know I want to be you when I grow up. But
yeah, but I'm
honestly,
talking about like where they're placed on the card and the aura that
yeah,
they possess is like
yeah,
which of these is not like the other is which one has never been world champion.
yeah,
Um and which of these, you know, wouldn't stand a damn chance in the ring with most of the other members of the other team. Um just because that's the way he's been booked, not the limits of his capability.
yeah. Now, to ensure their victory, there's going to be a match between uh the war like they're both teams to see who has the advantage at war games, right? Now, to make sure that this is how you know that they're going to. This is how you would know if the Vision is going to win or if Roman Reigns' team is going to win. Here's how you'll know: when they have that advantage match, Roman Reigns' team will win.
Yeah, and then still lose with the advantage. I don't necessarily disagree with you.
Yeah,
Like I said, I
and
think it's just too stacked on the other side. I mean, Bronson Reed is a beast.
yeah,
Braun Breaker is who they're grooming to be the next Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar. He is going. I mean, that dude's just at the top.
hmm,
Um, they even say it outright. Like Seth Rollins, when he was the leader of the division, is like, this guy is the guy. He's going to be the guy. Um, and then you've got Logan Paul, who, again, while he's contentious as a person, his ability to perform in the ring is not contentious. I mean, not if you're being honest with yourself and your eyeballs. That dude has had banger matches with at least Roman Reigns out of the people that are coming out here. Um, and when he had that match with Roman, it was close. Like Paul was bringing it to him. And then you've got Drew McIntyre, who is just a walking mountain of a man at like 6'6", 6'7", and almost 300 pounds. What is he, like 280 now? Um, just a mountain. Like, he is a guy that should be the guy. And then you've got Brock Lesnar, and I mean, just saying the name like that sells it. Like, if you don't know who Brock Lesnar is, then there's nothing I could say that would convey to you what this guy is. And if you do know, then I don't need to say anything else.
yeah,
Um, so I just feel like the deck is so stacked against
yeah,
like Team Punk.
yep. I agree. So we will see, but I think that's my prediction, and I think once they get the advantage, whenever we do have war games, the first to come out is going to be Jay. I'm sorry, not Jay, Jimmy. Um, I don't know who he's going to wrestle against. Might be Logan Paul. I'm not sure, but I think they're going to try to bring the two brothers out first, um, and then everybody else. So those are my predictions.
Yeah, I could see that. I could easily see that the first two people that appear in war games will be Logan Paul and like Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
Um, simply because if it wasn't Jimmy, it'd be Jay, and I think it'll be Jimmy just because he's going to be their starter. I don't think it's going to be Roman, Punk, or Cody that starts. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Cody could start it.
He could.
Um, because they're going to try and pick somebody who's got the cardio to be able to start this long ass match and still be going. And out of the other team, it's got to be Logan Paul. Logan Paul is their cardio guy. I mean, out after that, it would be Braun Breaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I could either see it starting with Jimmy and Logan, or it could start with Cody and Logan. But I feel fairly confident it'd be one of those setups.
Yeah.
Well, so with that all said, the show goes off the air as we see Roman spearing Reed through the timekeeper's barricade. And that brings us to the end of that episode. And with us being at the end, what would your review be of this episode of Monday Night Raw?
I'd give it a solid 8, 8.5. It was top tier.
Yep. I can agree with that. Between the solid matches and continuing an excellent build towards War Games, this is going to be an 8, which is top tier. I think folks would miss some interesting developments and some pretty solidly good matches and final appearances of John Cena if they didn't see this. So yeah, top tier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, with that said, that's been our review of WWE Monday Night Raw. And I want to thank everybody who has listened to this episode and invite you to join us for our next episode, which should be our continuing coverage of Friday night SmackDown. Which day is it? And until then, I don't think there's much for me to do but roll the outro.
I believe I can. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Top Tier Wrestling. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the latest AEW and WWE news and shows. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. Follow us on social media for updates and to join the conversation. Until next time, everyone, remember, wrestling is always better when it's top tier.